Hi and welcome to Cakes and Conversations, and today we're gonna make basically jazz up brownies. We're gonna do tiled brownies, which is like in very trend right now. Why brownies? Why tiled brownies? So basically there are many people who do not wish to have a lot of cake or cream or all those components which a cake has, and they just love brownies. They are loyal to brownies and they are brownie fans. So to jazz up or give a customization to the brownie, so this is something which is new in the cake industry, tiled brownies. I'm sure it's not very new, but where the place I am from, it's quite new. So we're going to do that very simple, nothing. You have to make a batch of your brownie, whatever brownie recipe that you love and you want to do, just make a batch of it. This is my favorite dark chocolate brownie recipe. It's an eggless recipe, so it won't have a lot of crinkle top. And for this recipe, you don't need a crinkle top, so that's completely fine. You can make any recipe that you wish to, or if you want, I'll link below my recipe that I have taught on this particular channel. I will link to that 5-ingredient easy brownie recipe. So you want to make that, you can do that. So I'm gonna just demold it from the pan. It's completely cooled down. I had baked this in the morning, and I'm assembling it like almost after say 4-5 hours. I'm extremely sorry for the shadows. My kitchen does not has any natural lighting. So I have demolded my brownie. It's completely cooled down and it's very nice and firm. For this recipe, I also need any topping on the top. So for example, if you want, you can go ahead and choose white chocolate ganache, you can choose dark chocolate, milk chocolate ganache, you can choose lotus biscoff spread, you can choose pistachio spread, you can choose coconut spread. There are a lot of varieties. I'm using Nutella because Nutella is loved by everyone. So I've just filled it in a piping bag. And since this is just 6x6 brownies, I'm not going to use a lot of it. So if you see, my Nutella quantity is a little lesser, which is completely fine. I just want to spread it over it. A thin layer would do. Okay, and then the same size of the brownie, you need to have an edible image printed by your cake decorating shop suppliers. So I'm in Dubai, and if you want, I will just write down the name and numbers in Dubai whom I know that they do edible printing. And if you know anyone more, please add it in the comments, so it's helpful for everybody, even for India. So it will be helpful for everyone who just sees this. I'm going to take the image off carefully from here. It just got stuck with the tape. Okay. I'm just cutting out the border. I had another image here, that's why it's like this. Usually you will get it on an A4 size. I have used another image for my other cake. So I'm just going to cut it. Make sure that you're using a clean scissor. I mean to say, not which is wet. If your scissor is wet, this is eventually a sugar sheet, a kind of a thin fondant. It will take up the moisture and become soggy. Okay, so just make sure that you do not do that. And when I talk about moisture, I would also like to say, do not use caramel on the top of the brownies, because caramel, when you make from like homemade, the one that's made from scratch, has a lot of moisture. Okay, from cream, from the butter, it has a lot of moisture, and the consistency is not very thick. It's not something like a sneaker chocolate. Okay, so that's why better you do not use caramel for such brownies if you want to do. I am making this for a small little get together for my ladies who are coming like now during dinner time. So that's why I chose this message, since today is Women's Day. It's the 8th, and that's the reason I chose this message. Otherwise, you can definitely go for any floral print. Like, if there are a number of designs and ideas, you can even put a couple picture and write happy anniversary. I mean, there are a lot of ideas that you can do with this, and this is the only reason that this had come into picture, tiled brownies, because we basically want to jazz up a brownie. Someone who loves brownies want to customize it, so this is the best way to do it. You can also do a little image here, and maybe you can put some toppers on the side, some real flowers, or maybe some edible flowers on the side. That's completely your choice, so you can get more imaginative. For me, I'm just doing a simple tiled brownie. Okay, I will just keep and see if the image is perfect. So I have got 6 by 6, and for me the image is perfect. Okay, I have not removed the backing at the back. If you see, there is a backing at the back side. Once I am doing the glazing and everything is when I will keep it there. Before I do all the Nutella glazing and the image, I would like to transfer this to my serving platter itself, so that later on I don't have any issues. So I'm just going to fetch my serving platter. I'm going to shift the brownies on that. So I'm using this cake stand. I'm going to directly put it on this. Okay, if you want, you can keep the backing off, backing of the brownie. If you want, you can just remove it. So I'm just taking the backing and keeping so that it's not visible. It's not visible. I'm just cutting a little more than, from the edge. So, okay, so we are done. Now I'm just gonna put the Nutella. I'm using a piping bag. You can just put it with a spoon or something. I find this much easier and neat. I'm just gonna spread it. Now, very carefully, just make sure that you don't have any chocolate on your hand, because my sheet is white, and of course in any other color also if you have, so make sure that you don't have chocolates and all in your hand. Very carefully you remove the backing paper, and this will easily come off. Do not pull it too much so that you tear your image. Okay, and then you can just, from the bottom to the top, you need to place your image. Be careful, do not just place it like a screen guard, how we place a screen guard on a mobile phone, from bottom to top or top to bottom, one direction. No bubbles should come in, and you cannot pick the image up again. This absorbs moisture and it sticks completely. So even for a cake or for this, you cannot remove this back. So make sure that you're carefully putting it before. Dessert that I can make for my ladies since today is Wednesday. And if you see how beautiful customized brownies this look. Now, why they are known as tiled brownies? Because it's cut and it does not distort its shape. It does not you don't see any other chocolate or anything. You just see a little seam, how a kitchen tile looks like. That's why we call this as tiled brownies. We will be cutting this into like a tile shape. For that, I'm going to first keep this in the fridge for a few minutes, because I don't want, when I put the knife up, it should when I put the knife up, the chocolate should not stick to any of the edges. So I'm going to keep this in the fridge for maybe say 10 to 15 minutes so that it just sticks and solidifies and everything. So, and then I'm going to take a big sharp knife and cut them. After 10, 15, 20 minutes, so I'm going to take a big sharp knife and I'm going to cut them into 9 equal portions. So because this is a 6-inch pan, it'll give me 2 inch, 2. So basically 2 inch by 2 inch, 2 inch by 2 inch brownies. Depending on your pan size, you can go ahead and cut. If someone is using 7 by 7, so you need to divide that equally. I am using 6, and I always make in 6 or 8. I don't use any odd number pans for brownies, so I'm going to just give it an equal cut. You have to slide your knife. Do not pick it up, because you will have chocolate spread on it otherwise. It's alright if it comes from the side. You can always push it back and take the crumbs off your plate. Wipe from before the second cut. Always wipe your knife. Slide. That's it. Join it back, take the crumbs off. And similarly, you will follow it this way also. You will cut it this way also. If you seem to have any chocolate on the image, just with it, do not damp your tissue or anything, just gently wipe it off. It will go off if it's fresh. Like this just came out now, so it'll just go off. Okay, make sure that you wash your hands, clean your knife, anything before every cut that you do. So next I'm going to do 2 more cuts, and then we're going to finish the tiled brownies. Once it's been cut, if you feel that there is space and all, just lightly, the image will not move too much, it will tear, so you better just do it very lightly if you can. For me, since it's not ganache, it's Ferrero, basically a Nutella, so the Nutella spread has not set completely. Ganache will definitely set in the fridge, so I'm able to move it a little. But if you're choosing a recipe, if you're choosing something like ganache, it will not. So if you see, it looks like a kitchen tile with the lines and everything. That's why it's known as tiled brownies. This is a very good way to customize your brownies, and you can do a lot with it. Thank you so much for watching.